In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a step-by-step method to draw a human face in a way that's simple and easy to follow. I'll be using a photo as a reference, but you can use any image, whether it's a photo of yourself, one you find online, or even a family member or friend. And don't worry about materials, you can use a pencil, pen, or even digital tools. But I highly recommend using a pencil. HB to 2B is fine for this exercise. Make sure your pencil is sharp and you have an eraser handy. I also recommend propping your sketchbook or paper at an angle so you can clearly see your reference without having to look down too much. Start with a circle. Begin by lightly drawing a circle to represent the cranium of the head. This is the foundation of the head structure. Step 2. Draw the facial plane. Draw a vertical line through the center of the circle to indicate the side of the face. Add a horizontal line across the circle for the brow line. Step 3. Mark the chin and jaw. Extend a soft vertical line downward from the brow line to mark the front of the face. The chin should be the distance between the top of the head to the brow line. Connect the chin to the middle part of the cranium with a curved jawline. Step 4. Place the features. Now we've already drawn the horizontal line for the brow, let's use it to place the features. The eyes usually sit just underneath that brow line, not right on it. This line also helps with the top of the ear, since in the side view, the top of the ear often lines up with the brow. Next, draw a second horizontal line for the bottom of the nose. This usually lines up with the bottom of the ear, giving you a guide for placing both features. Now look closely at your reference. The corner of the nose often lines up vertically with the edge of the mouth. So, draw a vertical line down from the side of the nose to help position the lips. These simple lines, horizontal and vertical, really help keep the features in proportion and make the drawing easier to follow. Now we've placed the main guidelines, let's start drawing the facial features. Just the outlines for now, no shading yet. Take your time with this part and keep checking your reference as you go. Let's begin with the eye. In side view, the eye has more of a wedge or diamond shape. It's narrower than it looks from the front. You won't see the full eye, just the side edge of the eyelids. Look closely at the angle. It often tilts slightly upward or downward, depending on the model. Sketch it lightly. And remember, you're drawing the shape between the eyelids, not a full circle. Next, draw the eyelashes if they're visible. They'll flow out from the top lid, but keep them simple and not too heavy at this stage. Now move down to the nose. From the brow line, follow the bridge of the nose down to the tip. Pay attention to the angles. Is it straight, curved, or has a small dip near the top? The nostril usually shows a soft curve or shape beneath the tip, and you'll likely only see one side. Keep the lines subtle and avoid drawing a full outline of the nose, just the parts that catch the contour. Remember, you can always correct, erase, and redraw certain elements if they look incorrect. Let's place the lips next. Using that vertical line from the edge of the nose, find where the mouth begins. In profile, the lips often angle slightly forward. The top lip usually sticks out just a little bit more than the bottom. Focus on the shape of the silhouette, the curve of the top lip, the dip in the middle, and the roundness of the bottom lip. Don't worry about shading or details yet, just the outline. From there, sketch the chin. Notice how it curves in from the bottom lip. Is it sharp or is it rounded? Follow it smoothly into the jawline, keeping the transition natural. Lastly, let's draw the ear. Use the lines you've already placed. The top of the ear lines up with the brow and the bottom lines up with the base of the nose. The shape of the ear can be a bit tricky, but start with the outer curve first, then lightly sketch the inner shapes. They are complex, but just simplify them into basic curves for now. Keep checking the reference and adjust your lines if anything feels off. The goal here is to match the structure of your model as closely as you can. We'll refine it a bit later. but for now, stay focused on proportions and simple, clear outlines. Step 5. Sketch and refine. As with the frontal view, I shaded this portrait from left to right to avoid smudging. Start by looking at the darkest areas around the nose in your reference, usually the nostril and the shadow underneath it. Shade these areas first with a soft, light touch, and build the tones up slowly. Don't rush to get to the darks straight away. We'll build everything gradually. Then move on to the mouth. Shade the line between the lips first. This is often one of the darkest parts. Then lightly add tone to the top lip, which is usually darker than the bottom in this view. Keep looking at the subtle shifts in tone and avoid outlining. Let the shading define the shape. Next, shade in the iris and pupil, but remember, in side view, you won't see much detail. Keep it simple and soft. Then gently shade under the top eyelid where there's usually a shadow, and use just enough tone to suggest depth without going too dark. If you're finding this tutorial helpful, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the Portrait Guru, and let me know in the comments section how your portrait turned out. I'd love to hear your progress. What is the hardest part of drawing a portrait? Now onto the eyebrow. Use short, light strokes that follow the direction of the hair. Don't fill it in too solid. Keep some variation in texture to make it look more real. Once the features are in, begin shading the skin tone. Start the darkest shadows areas first, usually under the cheekbones, under the jaw, and around the side of the forehead. Use smooth, even strokes and work in layers by holding your pencil at an angle, slowly blending the tones outward. Keep your pencil pressure light and let your shadows build from light to dark. This keeps your drawing soft and natural. Don't try to shade everything at once. Just take your time and move across the face gradually. As you build up your tones, keep checking your reference. Ask yourself where the light is coming from and which parts fall into shadow. This will guide how you apply the shading and where you leave highlights. Remember, everything's just graphite at this stage. Keep things clean, build gradually, and enjoy seeing the face take shape through tone. Step 6. Add hair and shading. For the side view, the model has an intricate hairstyle with braids that are gathered and formed into a bun at the end. Even though this is considered a little bit of a complex hairstyle, it's easy if you just break this down simply. So I shade it simply using a single tone with the side of my pencil, and then shading the darker areas beneath the tight bunches. Longer strokes that follow the direction of the hair, and layer shading gradually. Look for areas where the light hits the hair and leave those parts lighter. That contrast will make the drawing feel more realistic. Now shade the ear. Look at the reference closely to see where the deeper shadows sit, usually in the folds. Keeping your lines clean and pressure light. This area can get messy quickly if you overwork it. And then onto the earring. Treat it like any other object. Observe the light and dark areas and add just enough tone to suggest its shape and material. A bit of contrast here and there can add a nice touch of realism without going into too much detail. Next, move on to the clothing. Keep it simple. Use smooth shading to block in general shapes and shadows. You don't need lots of detail here, just enough to suggest form. Let the clothing stay a bit softer so the attention stays on the face. And then lastly, consider adding a little tone to the background. You can use it to frame the face. Adding a soft gradient or even a dark area behind the lighter side of the face can really make it pop. Keep it subtle and controlled so it doesn't overpower the portrait. At this stage, it's all about balance. Look at your drawing as a whole, see where you can add deeper shadows, strengthen contrast, or smooth transitions. These last touches bring depth, focus, and polish to your piece, and help tie everything together into a complete portrait. Step 7. Erase and add final refinements. Erase the initial guidelines and any unnecessary outlines to create a polished look. And there it is, the finished frontal portrait. If you found this tutorial helpful, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the Portrait Guru, and give me a comment below. Let me know how your portrait turned out. I'd love to hear your progress.